half a dozen police cruisers swooped in and busted Melodee's mom, Ashlee. And Ashlee Buzzard was taken away in handcuffs. Incidentally, if you look close there, yeah, she's in bare feet as well. And she's still wearing that same wig that she had on earlier this week when we also got video of her with moving boxes. She was shuffling moving boxes from her house into her garage. Moving boxes, not a good thing when cops want to know where your daughter is and they're watching your every move. Maybe that's why this arrest? 2 days ago, she's got moving boxes. Now she's in cuffs. So this video is like a side angle. It's exclusive video from the neighbors. And that neighbor, by the way, who shot it has been, you know, she's been watching Ashlee almost as closely as the feds have been. But then came the big surprise, right? This arrest, it was not for anything to do with her daughter, Melodee. That's what the police are telling us. This does not have anything to do with Melodee. This arrest is for false imprisonment. I know. I don't get it either. I am with you. I'm working through it. Trust me. Hold on. Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office said this, and I quote, "Detectives learned of a recent incident where Ashlee prevented a victim from leaving a location against their will." End quote. No, they are not naming the victim. And no, they are not saying exactly where this happened or when this allegedly happened. They insist that it is, quote, "not connected to the ongoing search for Melodee," end quote. Bizarre. But then they also say that to give any more specifics on what happened at that house today, well, that would, quote, "impede the ongoing investigation." Look how quiet it is there. Look at that house now. Not a peep. You can zero in, you can take a look. There's the backyard. Dead quiet. Yeah. She's not going to be there for a while either. It's $100,000 bond. I don't know about you, but that's pretty hard scratch to come up with. So make what you will of all of this, right? We do know that police shut down the road in front of Ashlee's house in order to make this arrest. Multiple officers were in and out of that house, at least one of them, carrying paper bags as he left. There you go. Look at right there in his hand, zero in. Look at them all. Some from the FBI, some from the local sheriffs. She was arrested by the sheriffs, by the way. And so now Ashlee is being held at the county jail. Again, bail at $100,000. Earlier tonight, we spoke with Melodee's father's cousin, Vanjie Ruiz, about this arrest. And here's what they had to say.
Knowing that she was arrested means that it was a bad outcome. It was going to be a bad outcome. It means that they found something bad. It means that they had probable cause to arrest her. So just knowing that she was arrested just broke my heart. I just felt really sad about the whole situation, like what she could have done with her and what could have happened. And there was a lot of things just going through my mind. Then I started searching all the news clips that were being posted, and I started just reading everything and listening to everything. And I found out that her arrest had nothing to do with the case. And that just gave me a lot of hope. It made me feel so much better. Then I started thinking, okay, then what could they have arrested her for? And I called my husband. I was like, maybe they just arrested her because they saw her with the boxes and she was trying to flee. And they tried to grab her on anything they could just to keep her in this area and arrest her and ask her questions.
Ashlee Buzzard's mugshot. I know you're wondering where it is. I am too. They won't release it publicly. That's weird. Don't get me started. I actually get really frustrated when they treat certain inmates differently, right? Typically, you get a mugshot. Not all the time, but, you know, typically. But the sheriff is releasing something else, and it's big. It's new surveillance video from that now very familiar visit to the car rental office that happened back on October 7th. Look at this. We've seen snapshots, but now we see them in action. You can see Ashlee and Melodee are both wearing wigs. And investigators now say that Ashlee swapped wigs multiple times during that 3-day road trip that she took with this rent-a-car she was getting at the agency. They say she left on the road trip wearing this long wig, the curly one, right? You can see it in the video. But she returned to California wearing a wig that deputies say looks like her daughter's. That part upset me. And that wasn't the only thing that apparently she was switching on the trip. Police say she also switched the license plates on the rental car. Melodee was last seen with her mom October 9th near the Colorado-Utah border, but her mom returned to California the next day, and there was no Melodee. Yeah, she came back alone. So what happened between October 9th and 10th? It's as big a mystery now as it ever was. And the big question tonight is, will this woman talk? Now that she has at least one charge hanging over her head, is it going to make a difference? Is the charge going to stick? I'm joined now by one of the finest legal minds in California or any other state of the union, and a good friend of the show, Mark Geragos. Mark Geragos, what do you make of these developments and that arrest today?
Well, it was interesting that they went out of their way to say or put out that it was not in connection with the disappearance of her daughter. That tells me that somebody saw this, came forward, made an accusation, and I'm going to guess that even though the arrest was not for the disappearance, I'm the cynical type, and I'm going to just wildly speculate that they used the arrest and $100,000 arrest warrant or bond amount so that they could hold her and see if they could get her to talk about the disappearance.
That's what I thought, but they should have arrested her long ago for not producing the little girl, I feel like, you know. This little girl's been gone for a month, and I feel if the squeeze play was their angle here, why didn't they do it sooner?
I just don't think they have enough right now. Once again, I'll wildly speculate. A lot of times these things have to do with an absent or a non-custodial parent, that there is some kind of friction, that there is some kind of a domestic issue. I mean, they always look for, law enforcement always looks for, where is the father, where is some other relative, and that's what they focus on. You know, taking somebody and using wigs and going through all of the machinations of disguising yourself to take her to someplace near the border and then come back. Looks like she's got a confederate or somebody who is working with her.
So what do you make of the moving boxes?
Ashlee,
do you think?
But,
I hear you totally, but I'm wondering about the moving boxes, because when I saw that on Wednesday, 2 days ago, I thought, uh-oh, that can't be good. Look, we could all have boxes for different reasons, but seeing moving boxes all flattened as though they had just been delivered, would that make police nervous enough to say, find something, get something to hold this woman before she disappears in the middle of the night like, you know, Brian Laundrie?
Well, I think exactly what happened. I don't know that anything untoward happened, and everybody, I'm sure, hopes that nothing untoward happened with the little girl. However, you can construct a scenario, and I've seen this exact scenario. I mean, that's why it's not my imagination as much as just kind of PTSD from a prior number of cases I've had. They took that she could have taken the little girl disguised, handed her off to somebody else for the time being, gone back. She was going to move, and then she was going to reconnect with the little girl, and the moving boxes were just because she was going to move to another location wherever she's got her little girl and whoever is holding her. That, to me, is if you're hoping for a happy ending, that's the best thing you can hope for.
Yeah, I just cannot imagine a mother who stonewalls nonstop CPS, police officers, sheriff's department visitors, and the FBI until, you know, ends up in handcuffs, barefoot, being led to a cruiser. Let me go back to the false imprisonment charge for a moment, because I was going through all sorts of gaming.
Just one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. I was just going to say, I can think of it's not an innocent explanation, but I can think of an explanation that she has got some kind of fear, or she's in some kind of a situation where she needs to secrete her daughter away, and she doesn't want to engage, and she doesn't want to do anything else to give anybody any clues. And by the way, it appears, at least from what I've heard or what I've read, that there isn't any kind of a custodial order that would prevent her from doing this. So if that's what it is, and if that's driving her, or the motivation, there isn't necessarily anything illegal about anything that she's done.
Well, CPS came along weeks ago and said 72 hours produced the child, but it wasn't the police. Like in Lori Vallow's case, the police said produce the children, and then when she didn't, they arrested her. They chased her to Hawaii and they arrested her. That did not happen in this case, which surprises me. But I want to ask you about that false imprisonment charge, because I was gaming all kinds of scenarios. Was the false imprisonment someone, like you said, coming out of the woodwork saying, I've seen that crazy lady on TV and this is what happened to me? Was it possibly false imprisonment of Melodee that maybe they saw somewhere along that road trip? Or maybe could it have been the police who were in her home and she barred them from leaving with some envelopes or evidence? Is that possible, any of those scenarios?
Anything is, as a lot of judges tell me when you ask the question, is it possible? And they say objection, speculation, sustained, anything is possible. Look, anything is possible. What is most likely? I always talk about bell curves and the most likely scenario. The most likely scenario is that somebody came forward and said that she did something like this to me, or something in connection with the investigation. She wouldn't let me leave, and I wanted to leave. They used that as a pretext to try to arrest her at this point, because they didn't have, and they still don't have, at least what's been reported, a crime here. And if they don't have a crime, they can't just arrest her to sweat her, I think is what the expression is. But they could arrest her if they had an independent crime in order to try to figure out or get her to talk once she was in custody.
I learn something new every day, sweating them out. Quick question about the mugshot, and I only have 20 seconds left, but they didn't release a mugshot with this lady, and the bail's at $100,000. I don't know that false imprisonment is typically $100,000 bail, but she does seem like the kind that's a flight risk. Weigh in on both of those, the mugshot and the bail amount.
I think the mugshot will come out, though somebody will make a public records request if the media hasn't done it already, and then usually that gets complied with. The bail amount is or can be, according to schedule. I haven't looked at the Santa Barbara bail schedule, but for most felonies, $50,000 or $100,000 would not be out of line.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.